Right, pond cleaning day. I keep using liquid dechlorinators. Any chemical is a bad chemical, so we've gone and purchased. I was very fortunate to be gifted this by our good friends down at Icklesham Koi. Check out one of the recent videos showing all their new koi in from Agata. Absolute cracking dealer. But yeah, so we're going to get this hooked up in a minute and see how she performs. Only downside is 4 litres per minute, so it'll probably give me a kick up the arse to finally create a trickle in, trickle out. Right, pond maintenance day.
Beautiful weather.
But I've got a problem. Water's a bit murky anyway because it's had a treatment. But since putting the big roof on last year, I've not really noticed it over the winter. But it's dark, which is fantastic. But the sun, we're south facing, so the sun obviously comes around in the evening, which is fine, but the majority of the time I want to see the fish during the day as well. So obviously the water is clear, obviously apart from the treatment. So it's aqua flavin, so obviously it goes the neon yellow colour and is now taming down. Hopefully a lot of that change of water changed today, but so I'm going to cut out there, which is really annoying, and then hopefully a little bit of light down off it, just for a comparison. I'll have that there, and I'll see you in 2 ticks once I've cut it out. Beautiful. And the old sea over there. Right, back to work. Cup of tea, Stanley knife, saw, electric, glass, scribed out, marked out. Now it's time to cut out. Bonjour! I've got my window in on the roof. It's bad news. It was a complete waste of fucking time. So the window's gone in a tree. Just run upstairs. You see. Hopefully you can see up there. Sort of. It's great, but I didn't think it through. Look at all that light it's supplying. Over there, where it's meant to be, where it is over there. So thinking about it, what I'm going to have to do is ideally, I wanted it top dead centre, otherwise it's going to look naff, but what I'm going to have to actually do is put a skylight over in this corner, because where the sun sits this time of year, mind you the sun will be higher as the year goes on, so I might give it a little bit, but all in all, yes, a bit of a waste of a time, an hour gone. Fish are happy though. That's it, that's the old declarator fitted. So at the moment I've just got that running from a flexi hose. I'll tidy up the hose in later, same with this side. It's temporarily on, I'm just going to run it for a bit. Any dechlorinator, you've got to let her run for a bit, otherwise you're going to end up with crap in the pond. And at the moment, that's just set up. I can either have a hose end on it for cleaning out the nexus, or it goes up to me. I'll follow that up and round. It goes up to my rainfall shower. The fish seem to like, but summer's evening we like it as well. So yeah, just basic hose connections that come with it. Quality wise, seems pretty good, but we shall see how she works. Right, next spring job. Change the UV out, so new 55 watt UV. I made this nice and easy to get off the wall, just so we can get at it. What I'm excited to see though is, I can't remember whether I put valves on the before and after the bloody UV. I would have thought so, but we'll find out in a minute. Absolute plum. It doesn't matter if I can't shut the water off. The water don't go in where the bulb is, does it? What a nincompoop. So those of you familiar with the Evos, the Evo UV, should I say, it's the 55 watt. So it's just a case of being gentle, sliding it inside the quart sleeve, and then my hardest end is that end, so I just clip that in, make sure the washers are still on. Same with this end, so there's a little washer in there, fibre washer, and then just put it on that end, pull it out. It's easy to pull it out slightly, don't touch the glass. Pull it out slightly, clip her in, and then once it's done, push her back through and clip her up, tighten her up, and she's good for another 6 months. Look at all that algae. So she's on for a boil. Just looking at my media, I've had the aqua in there, but just before that it had started to turn brown, so I couldn't work out why through the part spring and the last summer last year that my media stayed crystal clear. It was like brand new. And I just mentioned to someone, well actually it was Ipswich Coy, Bob down at Ipswich Coy, and he said, where are you running your new water into when you top up the pond after a clean? And I thought I was being really smart, so as well as using the chlorinator, I was having my hose fill up through the nexus. But of course, chloramine and chlorine and good bio don't really mix, does it? Literally, soon as about a week after actually topping up the pond, and obviously I've got the new dechlorinator now, the media started turning brown. So whether it's spring, it's a coincidence, I don't know. But we will see. Look at all of those turds. Good morning all. Bank holiday Sunday. It is very exciting. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fry of the second batch to go back in the pond. Got a little Deutsch Chagoi there. A Sankey. We think that is a Saragoi, just going towards the back now, and then possibly a Kahaku. Don't know. I think that's that one's a bit of a bastard fish. And then we got a Deutsch something. We had a Shusui in the old pond, so I'm not sure if that's going to come through as a Shusui or not. I don't know. But yes, that's the first batch. So yeah, interesting Deutsch Chagoi. There's 15 already in there. Water's a bit. I'm still fighting off the yellow from the aquaflavin. But yeah, I don't know if you can see them. There are little tiddlers. There they are. Look down the bottom. So they were from the first batch. They're probably about 12 to 14 centimeters now. They're all happy, doing well. But yeah, got a couple of Kahakus there. A Ginrin Kahaku. But yeah. So these I plan actually to pass on to friends and family or sell. I don't know yet. But in total, I think we'll have about 50 fry once they're done and dusted. But yeah, so they're going to go in the pond. All I'm doing is we've got a couple of degree difference between inside and outside. So obviously just slowly transferring the water in. What I'm going to do in a minute, I'm not cleaning the filter today, but I am just going to do my water tests. So we've got the new Kahaku in there. He was scraped and tested actually yesterday. I didn't show that on video, but I should have done. Not a very good example. There he is, he's just going across the middle. He's settled in nicely, seems happy. Happy. He is actually white, he's not yellow, it's just the water. But what I'm going to do as well is, so that's been up and running a while now, the Tempest. What I thought would be interesting to do is I'm actually going to hold a class. I'm going to hold a class. I'll call a register shortly. And what I'm going to do is I'll hold a glass, not a class, over the edge, and it'd be interesting actually to see what fines are in the water. I'll let it settle and then I'll show you guys. Yeah, I'll be back with you in a bit when we're doing our water tests. Check out this young lady, eh? Now, let me put you off now. Always helping with the pond, bless her. 12 years old. Grafter already. Just filling in the old koi journey. That KH5?
Yeah, it's a bit low.
No, that's up from what it was.
6 to 8.
Lovely, jubbly. So Evie's doing the tests indoors. We got one fish with an ulcer. Good old spawning. I can't say that I've ever gone to bed with the dear wife and woken with ulcers. So koi fish, quite frankly, is disgraceful and disgusting. And calm it down a little, please. But no, disgusting fish. But what I'm going to do is, as I promised, we're just cleaning out, just checking over the pond, and I'm just going to, so return from Nexus, comes down, in there is the UV, comes around, splits around into the Tempest, which I do need to cover. I keep saying I'm going to get a cover, I keep forgetting. Phosphates are up at 1 at the moment, so I am getting a lot of algae, and the UV's been off for treatment for the aquaflavin. So but yeah, as you can see, that's definitely, it's there, it's live, there's water running through it. I haven't cleaned it prior to doing it, so that was cleaned what, 4 days ago. And there's the outlet straight into the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collect the glass of the stuff. So witness me doing this. Fill her up, barman. Right, there we go. So let's have a look. Like I say, excuse the colour of the water, that's the aquaflavin. But I don't know if you can see that. So it is running through the Nexus. So Nexus is running on about 50% on a 20,000 vary pump. So about 10,000 litres, bit less time it goes through the bends and that. But that, yeah, I'm actually quite surprised at that. I don't know if it'll focus. That's pretty damn clear. You see a few tiny little bits floating around in there. I think I've seen them make claims to 1 micron, which I don't know if they're bubbles or... No, they are little tiny bits. And they're green, they're little tiny little bits of algae. And I'd say that's more because I've got an algae problem, but that ain't too bad, is it? Mind you, for 250 quid, fucking wants to be. But yeah, no, just to show you how clean it is, I'm gonna have a little sip of this now. This is Evolution Aqua. You don't think I'm stupid, do you? No chance. Right, got out here, gathering scrap wood, leftover wood from old ponds. So I mentioned in the last video I'd bit the bullet in terms of extending the filter house, but really got thinking about it and what I'd purchased, my usual bargain, just not happy with it. The thing I like about the pond, there's no disrespect to others, I like that I've got a 360-degree walk around my pond, so I can get right round it, I can see the fish from all angles, I can get to it if I need to. But I also like that this isn't too intrusive. Hi Ted! Hey boy! Yeah, it's subtle, it's quite small. And I was thinking, do I really need, I've got the workshop up the top with the old fry area in it that I can work in for the fish stuff if I need to. So my main thing was getting the Tempests out of daylight, and at the moment it comes in that corner and I really don't like that. I don't like pipe work on show. And I've got this, so behind here, I don't know if you follow the channel, you remember all my pipe work is behind that. And the main reason is because I didn't have enough room for the UV and all the ball valves in the filter shed, so they had to go on the back of here. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this, so then the entire pond, because underneath there that is all clad, because my intention was to put everything in there. Obviously that didn't work out. Slight underestimation on the old size, you know. Normally with the male you tend to overestimate, but in this case I underestimated in terms of the size of it. So what I'm going to do is, my quirky doors that are actually built out of insulation board have been brilliant. A, they keep in the warmth, but B, most importantly, they are super duper light, so maintenance wise it's quite simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to extend this. So I've got 2 doors at the moment, I'm going to make a third door, so that will take the width to about here. And then where at the moment my pipework comes out the bottom of the Nexus and across, I'm actually going to reverse that and take it back behind the Nexus. Then in that corner will be the UV, he says. And then on this wall, because that wall will obviously move back just under a metre, I can have the 2 Tempests, and then I can have a single run back to the pond and a single ball valve. That is absolute bullshit. It'll still be a double ball valve because I've got 2 inlets there, 2 returns. But what I can do is actually just have a single line that splits into 2 with a 2 ball valve. So I will have to have something here to cover the pipe work, but obviously in terms of size compared to this beastie, it'd be a lot smaller. So yeah, that's the plan, because then this sits quite snugly. It's like I say, it's not intrusive, it's out the way. I'm going to pop down my local dealer tomorrow. I want to get another 25 litres of either Helix or K1, because that's bubbling really, really well now. So there's well over 200 litres of K1 and Helix combined, and even on the pump I've got, so the Charles Austin or whatever it's called, you'll notice the water's down a bit, doesn't need cleaning. That's been just over a week. I've been a bit naughty, but yeah, so I can get another 25 litres at least. I reckon possibly 50, so I'll knock it up to 250 litres eventually. But we go 225, do it in stages. That's since I've been using the dechlorinator to refill after water changes. I can't believe the difference in how quick the media has matured. I think A, because of the weather and the water temperatures, but B, I think I was killing off a lot of that decent bacteria. So yeah, so that means then airlines and everything else can stay in one place. I haven't got to move everything about, and it means that things like this, which actually are proving very beneficial, are hidden and out of eyesight, which is lovely. But I'll join you again in a minute and we'll see how we're getting on. Right, bonjour. Complete change of plan. So yesterday, while I was working in the corner by the backy shower, and first of all I cut my head. But in this corner, I noticed where the backy shower, or filter shower, DIY shower, whatever you want to call it, I was getting a dead spot in that corner. So I was planning on getting a second Tempest today, but what I've done instead is I've now completely removed my Tempest. My plan was to obviously extend this. For now, that's gone for a Burton, and that can stay as it is for now. I've got bigger fish to fry, so to speak. So what we're doing is we're disconnecting. The Tempest used to obviously go round and into this corner, which I didn't like anyway. It made horrible noise. So just disconnecting all that, just solvent welding up. Just I run out of glue, so I've got this stuff, Southern Cement Hunters. Actually, it's a really nice glue to use. Yeah, so there's the bits off of the UV. The old connections that I put in just to be able to connect the Tempest up are gone now. So yeah, so all that pipe work along the bottom, around the back, and what I've done, you'll have to excuse the flexi pipe. I know we're not all a fan of a flexi pipe, but while I was at it, I thought, you know what, I've got this dead spot, so played around. I had flexi on here anyway as a temporary, because this is where the pressure filter used to sit. So what I've done now is I've brought my Tempest over to this side, and I've got to tidy up the brackets and that, don't panic. So pain in the arse thing with these is obviously where it was all solvent welded. I usually like to solvent weld. As soon as you want to move it, it becomes completely defunct, and if you need to, you've obviously got to chop it off and then use rubbers anyway. But I've managed to play around with the pipe work to a point where, yes, it's using flexi, but it'll do for now. So what I'm going to do is just run this return back, but I want to drop it right down the back of the shower. And what I want to do is down in there, the fish gets out of the way. I think it's going to try and focus on the net, but anyway, down in there where the water so obviously the bottom drain is pushing the air out. Where it's meeting this one, I've almost got like a join of currents, or a current. A rip curl, I suppose it is. Rip curl. Hang 10, man. Yeah, so then I'm getting like a line of poo just sitting in this corner. So I'm actually going to push that out with what comes out, the 5,000 litres per hour comes out of the Tempest. And for in there, I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet at some point. As much as I don't really need to, this is actually on for a clean at the moment. It's bubbling away in there. Yeah, is it time for a drum? Rather than make this thing bigger, actually, I'd make my filtration a lot smaller and game round, but it's something I need to think about. Interesting conversation with a guy on eBay. I'm not going to mention anything yet, but just been chatting to him about improvements for the Nexus, and it sounds like he's got something that's spot on. But yeah, I'm going to crack on, and I'll update you in a bit. Right. I'm chucking it down with rain as usual. I cut my head, so this is all back together now. So we're back to Nexus, 10,000 litres per hour, back to here. But that's gone. T-bend, all that pipe work down the bottom's gone, and then we've got our nice bodge down in here. Got Ted, what are you doing? So this is all now ooked up. So all that's doing, excuse the white bracket, is all I had. I shall chuck a black bracket on there when I've been to the shop. So all this does is extends down to the bottom of the pond. You're not going to see it, I don't think. No, it's still very green in there. So but yeah, this just goes off the skimmer line. So I'm going to run 15,000 litres per hour, 10,000 litres per hour to the shower, the DIY shower, and then the rest will go. See, this is annoying. You're going to look at this and go, what are you doing? Unfortunately, I've already dug down, what, 200-300 mil, and I don't want to go any lower, because otherwise I lose my ability to get rid of the waste, and I don't want to be putting a bucket under there every time. So that just goes off the waste, that pipe out the bottom. Good old steel straps. Thankfully you can't see this corner when you're where you should be. But yes, I'll put rubber ducky goes in this corner so you won't see the pipe work. So rubber ducky has been with us since our first pond. Mother bought him for me as a joke, not thinking that I would keep him. So, you know, lovely body ferns, doesn't he? Look. Where's that duck? But yeah, okay, so I'll tidy it up a little bit. I'm going to switch on, see if we've got any leaks. We shouldn't have, but it's always best to check. Oh, and I've got to put a load of P-beach in there just in case we do have any leaks. And then we'll switch the old tap on and away we go. Well, that was a nightmare. Look at me hair. Here guys, you can, and girls, you can see how far back my hair actually goes. Look, receding a little bit there. But I am absolutely soaking wet through. Anything that could go wrong went wrong. So I couldn't get it to work. So I keep saying so, I don't know why. So now down in that corner, as I said earlier, it goes right down. Fired it all up, but it wouldn't clean. It was like airlocks. I played around. So I thought to myself, is it because it's an underwater return? So I cut a bit of pipe out and I put a valve on so it'd let air in. And then I thought to myself, what an absolute twat.
Fucking twat.
Because when that's shut, no air gets back anyway, so it ain't that. So I faff-arsed around, and where I've run the waste, if it's higher than the tap, obviously, because it's not under pressure, it won't bubble. Now I'd run it, and it was nice and, well, it had a fall on it, but unbeknown to me, while I've been piss-arsing around down here, the end of the pipe had popped up. Just like that, popped up. Popped up. There we go. So yeah, so all I did in the end, after like 2 hours of pissing around, dropped the outlet and it started working. So what do we reckon of that, Eve? Shit, that's what it is. But we're all running now, and what's nice is straight away that dead spot that I had down there that was covered in waste. Let's see if we can focus. We can't. But down in that corner that was full of fish shit and God knows what else. What an artistic picture. Look at that. Hang on, I'll freeze that. Oh, there, look. How lovely. But yeah, after all of that, so we're just topping the pond back up, through the dechlorinator, just added another 25 litres of K1 in there. Not very buoyant at the moment, but soon will be. And I think we got a visitor tomorrow, which is nice. Everyone's happy. Still a yellow tinge to the water. UV's back on now. What are you doing? Paddy! What are you doing, you baby? So, yeah, it's and all the while I've been sat here, I haven't fed them, so hopefully you can see that they're all hanging around. So I'm going to go and feed them now. Steve's around somewhere, he needs his feed. And yeah, fuck that day's over, because I have not enjoyed it one bit. Now, I don't mean to play. Look at me plaster. I don't mean to play Mr. Billy Big Spuds, but my Aldi bag was grubby and dirty. I didn't clean it. Threw it away. Put a new one on there. You know what I mean? Oh, Mr. Spiddy Spider.
She must be blank.
I don't care about the 25p. I can afford to throw them away. Wife's actually in the kitchen washing it out. Just popped out to give them their last feed, and already I seem to be getting my clarity back. So they're on the bottom, so just under 1.5 metres down, but yeah, that's much better. Happy with that. The old big gill. Chasing around by the looks of things. Naughty. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Be interesting to look back at the video I was taking earlier, see if there's a noticeable difference. Oh, excuse me.